This is how to beat Yosenjus without side decking. This is based off of the 4-axis version, just rank 4 spam, as opposed to using the pendulum version or any other type of variant. You never know, they might do a synchro version or whatever. But right now we'll just go with the basic, low budget, rank 4 spam, right? So you got Pageman Itachi, you got Kamai Itachi, and you got Kamami Itachi, I guess, and then Suji Kiri Kazi, Suji Kiri Kazi, I guess. Those are the main rank 4 should be used. Another rank 4, not rank 4, I said level 4. Why am I saying the wrong things for, right? Level 4 to use in the deck. It's not a Yosen, but it is a level 4 wind type that you can special summon, so that makes it useful. And to go into rank 4 like Chidori, Emerald, or any other rank 4 you want to go into. Soldiers can also be played in Yosenjus, so that way you can go into like double Chidoris and clear your opponent's field, or any other type of play you want. You can go into a Emerald Exciton Knight play where you make Emerald, use Emerald's effect, recycle your recycle monsters from your graveyard. They could be extra deck monsters, so you can recycle your rank 4s like your Chidoris and stuff like that, put them back in the deck and draw a card in the process, and then make an Exciton Knight and then blow up the field. And all for the cost of 4,000 life points, right? So those are some stuff they can do. Then we got Yosen Tornado. Good card, pay 800. Each time a Hermit Youkai monster or monsters you control is returned to the hand, you can return any equal number of cards your opponent controls to the hand. So go with keep control of your opponent's field, especially if you use that effect on your opponent's XYZ monsters. That'll get rid of any XYZ monsters. You don't have to worry about them coming back. Get rid of synchros, ritual monsters, fusions, all that good stuff. So it's a good out to a lot of things. So it's a really good card, obviously. So it's a continuous spell, so it'll be on the field long enough for you to keep using it. They also have the Yokai Shrine of Trials that will allow them to get, by summoning Yokai monsters, normal or special, gets counters. You can remove one counter to give them 300. You can apply that effect multiple times. And this power boost is permanent for the monsters until end of turn. So even if this card leaves the field, they still have that power boost until end of turn. But the fact that you can use this multiple times is good. So that means you could remove like 4 counters, give 1200 to all your Yukais, and go for an OTK. So that's another thing they can do. They can swarm the field and they go OTK, especially if you use this card. And like I said, by removing 4 counters, and if you summon 4 Yukais, 4 counters, that's 1200 to all their attacks. So right here, this one's 18, he'll become 3000. This one will become 28. This one will become 27. And this one will become 22. That's more than enough to OTK your opponent with. So obviously the Yosen's special summoning, normal summoning abilities, their ability to swarm plus this card, you can OTK. Then it has the ability where you can remove 3 counters. You can only use this effect once per turn to add 1 Yosen card from your deck to your, or graveyard to your hand. So this is how you can recycle your Yosens from the graveyard, add them back to your hand, summon, and go crazy, right? So it's like the gates of the Yosen Samurais, I guess, right? Tanky, generic, Beast Warrior Rhoda. They are Beast Warrior, so they can use it. And it's, again, here's another spell card. Plus, it gives them 100 extra boost. So this alone would give them strength. Combine that with Shrine, more power boost. Spiritual Wind Art. You know, they're all wind attributes. A lot of the XYZs, rank 4 you make are wind types. So you can tribute them for this card effect and take a card the opponent controls and put it on the bottom of the deck. So certain builds will and can use this. Obviously, you see this is one of the pendulums, so this would be for like a pendulum build. But I personally don't play. I just play the 4s, but they could play this if they want. 3 emeralds, 3 Chidori. So you can, you know, Chidori lock your opponent by summoning Chidori, targeting one set card your opponent controls, and returning that to the bottom of the deck. And then you detach a material from this card to target one face-up card your opponent controls and put that on top of the deck. Keep doing it every turn, you know, and then keep doing the second effect every turn. Detach, put on top of the deck, you know, whatever card, whatever face-up card they have, and put on top of the deck. Let's say it's a field spell, you just keep putting a field spell on top of the deck, and you'll lock them out. You can do that for 2 turns, and then you can use, after you use up Lightning Chidori's effect, then you can use Wind Art, tribute, you know, send one of your opponent's cards to the bottom of the deck, and then create a the Gusto Emerald. Remember, now you have 2 materials, 2 Yosens that went to the graveyard because there were XYZ materials for Chidori, plus Chidori. That's 3 monsters in your grave. You make Emerald using 2 Yosens, overlay, detach. So now you have 4 cards in the graveyard, and you can recycle the Chidori and 2 of the Yosen monsters back into the deck, shuffle, and draw a card in the process, and just keep on going. And then again, the Gusto Emerald is wind, so he can be used to activate a second copy of Spiritual Wind Art. And go do it all over again. Then you can make a, you know, you can make another Chidori. After that, lock your opponent again, then make another Emerald, recycle the first Emerald in a Chidori, and just, you get the idea, and just keep loop, and lock your Chidori, lock your opponent. Alright, so ways to avoid that, of course. Since they can hit the field, and as like I said, they could OTK, you might need some Battle Stoppers, Battle Fader, Signal Red, Swift Scarecrow, Curry Photon. If you have these in your deck, you'll be able to survive. Gorz is, of course, another option. Trigodia, maybe General Man. There's tons of battle stopping monsters. There's monsters you can summon during the battle phase to help protect you. If you have them, you can avoid an OTK. You can use stuff like Mirror Force and stuff like that, obviously. Just point out the fact that they could OTK, you might want to have something in your deck that can prevent that. When they summon a Yosen, they get the effect to summon another one. You can Veiler it, so they can't summon another one, which means they can't summon another one, and swarm the field. So being able to negate the effect of the first one summon is very useful. But there are Beast Warriors. They can use Tensu, so even if you Veiler, they'll be like, alright, Tensu, summon another Yukai anyway and keep going. And it's like, damn it, I almost stopped you, but it didn't. Alright, so, but most players don't play Tensu, but Tensu is an option, so be careful. Those who are smart enough to play Tensu, those are the ones that definitely want to perform the OTK, right? Breakthrough skill drain. Good thing about skill drain is that it lasts longer. Even if they have the Tensu and they summon another one, skill drain will still be on the field, right? So they'll negate the next one's effect. So you don't have to worry. They can still exceed into something strong and run your monsters over and, you know, do your damage, but at least you don't have to worry about the Chidori lock if you have skill drain. Betting's emptiness could prevent special summoning, so that could prevent the Chidori lock. Wing Blast, you know, use the same trick. They use Wind Art, you can use Wing Blast. It's generic, right? Use it against them, start throwing some of their stuff down to the bottom of their decks and whatnot. I mean, to the top of their decks and lock them down. It's not as recyclable or as consistent or as devastating as Chidori, but it's close enough, right? Karma cut, that way they can't recycle anything, especially if you banish all copies of their Chidoris or emeralds or whatnot. Raigeki break, you know what I mean? You want to prevent them from having multiple monsters on the field. Of course, you could change this to Chidori's summon. So Chidori summons, Chidori targets something. Let's say this is face down, and they target this, chain it, pop the monster. Same goes for Karma Cut, Wing Blast. Since they use a couple continuing spell cards that have really good effects, and you don't want them to keep it, you can use cards obviously like Fairy Wind, MST, Spell Shattering Arrow, since these cards are specifically spell cards. You know, you can pop them, deal damage in the process, which is always good to reduce your opponent's life points, especially if they could use Soul Charge and clear your field. You know, off of a nice little Soul Charge play, you might want to reduce the life points so they can't play Soul Charge. And there's many reasons to play Spell Shattering Arrows. Spell Shattering Arrows is good for against the Pendulum build, it's good against any Pendulum deck. So, and we got 101, trying to prevent that Chidori from, you know, going to graveyard and being recycled. This is pretty decent against that. That's not perfect, but it's a start. As long as you slow your opponent down from being able to make any plays. Sky Blaster, you can even use your own Chidoris and try to Chidori lock your opponent, so that way they can't do the Chidori lock. Sky Blaster is good for throwing back into deck any of these cards, especially the Tornado. Exciton, obviously good for clearing the field, clearing your opponent's back row. You can use black rolls as well. Chidori targets, you can use any monsters that have effects that, like Obelisk or Tormentor for example, that can't be targeted. So you can summon that and just rape your opponent's face with that. So there's certain options based off of what you have in your deck. Felgrand, you can use that as well, and so forth and so forth. And that's the end of the video.